Here we go. Finally, it's time to talk about my run at Malmö Stars Unlimited Open. This is going to be a quite quick tournament breakdown. If you want to hear more about the tournament, check out the latest episode of the Nordic Takedown podcast. And without further ado, let's jump right in. So, the tournament was in Malmö. If you don't know, that's in the south of Sweden, very close to Denmark. So, a pretty nice central position for the Nordics. Not that close for me, since I study in Trondheim. I spent like 30 hours on train for the weekend, with a pit stop in Oslo. And I was sick, so it was quite an exhausting weekend for me, but still it was totally worth going, because it was so much fun meeting great players and super nice guys. And of course competing in a huge setting, which I had never done before. So here are some pictures from the event and the prices. Of course, it was a very nice price support. If you would calculate to American standards, I would say around a 3K. And if you want to see footage of the tournament, check out the Nordic Takedown YouTube channel. Let me make my camera a little bit smaller here. Yeah. We did a stream without that much commentary on the first day. Jason jumped in like halfway, but on the second day for the Topcut, both Jason and Victor did a great job casting, so check that out. Alright, the meta, just giving you all of the decks here. The most popular leader was actually Han2 with... Oh, there's something wrong here. Han2 Blue should not be 1. Give me 1 sec. Okay, I see what happened there. I put the Han2 Blue as Han Worth for some reason, but Han2, there was 8 blue ones, 4 with ECL and then 1 red, making it 13 players playing the new Han. And if we take a look at the other side here, we had 11 Sabines. So that was the second most popular leader. We had a lot of Kiras, 7 ECL, 1 30 health green, 6 Bobo Yellows, 2 Bobo Greens with ECL, and then otherwise a really good spread. I think like 36 different leader and base combinations here. Maybe the most interesting deck we saw was Cadbane Blue. That got a lot of attention during the streams as well. And actually both players made the Topcut. So in the Swiss rounds, this was the results after the Swiss. And as you can see, both Cadbane Blues made it. Both Boba ECLs also made it. Sabine Target Down, the only Sabine red, made it. I would say a pretty good amount of Sabine ECLs. Yeah, only 2, but no, yeah, the Sabine green there should be Sabine ECL on 3rd place as well. That means 3 out of 10. Pretty good presentation. Han Blue, however, only 1 out of 8 made it. Not that good. Palp Green made it, and there was only 1 Palp Green. But I would say also pretty good variety in the Topcuts. Okay, so that was the results after Swiss. What did I play? I played Han Blue. I had picked up this deck approximately 2 weeks before the event. I played a good player on the Take Initiative League who vouched for this deck. Shout out to Sneeze. Also watched the Han Blue Masterclass from Late Night Gaming. So I got a lot of inspiration there. I have here a picture of the deck that Tivitz played at Gen Con. So it has a lot in common, of course, but there are also quite big differences. So what you see in most Han Blue lists are these 2-drops, Sabine and A-Wing. I think they are decent, but I mostly wanted to make this deck be able to beat Sabine, and when I played against good Sabine players and they knew what to do, they would always ECL Sabine or A-Wing, basically giving them a 2-for-1 and a great start from the get-go. and that was the position I often could not recover from. Like that small advantage was enough for me not to be able to take back the board before enough damage would finally kill me. So I opted for not playing those and instead playing the Wookiees, which you can play as a 4-2. They will always trade, and Cassians as 3-3s. Yodas are not that good into Sabine, better in other matchups, but they're still okay to play, following them up with Carabast or Open Fire. As you can see, I also play a lot of late game units here. 3 Poes up to crate, only 2 crates, but still 1 in the side. This deck, if you don't know how it works, you just play big units for 1 cheaper. So you play Obi-Wan for 5, Poe for 4, Luke for 6, and it goes on. I'm not gonna talk too much about the list, trying to keep this video short, so we just continue. Now you at least know what I played. Okay, quick about sideboarding. I mostly did the same thing in like most of the matchups, but of course you're always adapting to what you play against, but I'm not going to go into the details there. So against Sabine, I took out Pillage, 1 K2 and 2 Great Dragons. The reason I'm taking out K2 is because I have both Kanan and Base, which I would much rather want to play for 3, because those are then 4 3s. That means they can attack into Sabine and still survive, right? That's a very important thing, because then Sabine will only have 1 life left, so even if they Dark Saber, you can still take it out. But the K2, however, if you play it for 3 cost, it's going to be a 4-2, and then it's going to die, and the damage and discard doesn't really help you against Sabine. So against Sabine, I took out 1 K2, 2 crates and Pillage, not attacking the hand, not getting to that late games often, or at least I've probably won by then. But taking those top targets, they're really nice when you have some leftover resources just to be able to heal a little bit. And Mace Windu as a decent removal card in the mid game. Against most other late game and control matchups, I sided in these 7 cards. So my whole sideboard except the top targets. And the reason for that is because I often find myself not needing as many early game plays as I have in the main. So I took out some Wookiees, maybe Conquer Dawn, maybe Confiscate wasn't as important, or removing an Open Fire, yeah. But Pillage is, for instance, amazing against control. So you want to side that in. Okay, my Swiss rounds, as I said, or maybe I haven't said, there were 7 rounds of Swiss. 2-0 against the Cassian Blue, not the meta deck. 2-0 against Sabine ECL, so this is what I've been practicing for, and went very good because I got to play Poe for 4, which is maybe the best thing you can do against Sabine, because then you're kind of rendering Darksaber pretty useless. If they play Darksaber, they're either getting damage to base, or they'll be forced to attack into Poe, which is probably the best option there. Then I played a mirror. I had a much more late game focused deck, I would say, and I have a lot of experience in the mirror as well, because I've been testing a lot with players online. Got a 2-0. Sabine Tarkentown, however, was a nightmare. Tarkentown can just remove anything I play with 2 damage on it, right, in the early game. So you're behind on board from the get-go, and they play daring raids, open fires just to control the board, and it's very, very hard to take it back. Maybe when you get to Luke, Obi-Wan and Chewie, then you'll be able to get some good 2-for-1s trying to take the board back, but I could not manage and lost that 0-2. Then I played Adam from the Nordic Takedown podcast, won it 2-1, very close games. Then I faced the Kira ECL, also very, very close games, almost going to time, but Pillages are just amazing there in the mid to late game. And then faced Krennic. This was actually played on stream, so you can check it out on the Nordic Takedown channel, where I got a good curve game 1, but game 2 and 3 I didn't get the best cards, and not the cards I needed to answer ramp into ECL Gideon Hask, buffing Krennic and then just having a lock on the board. That was really difficult. Okay, maybe I've had this twice now. So, Topcut. Top 16 game was against the Sabine. So I was the 7th seed, facing then the 10th seed, 1-2-0. Drew good cards, nothing really to say here. Quarterfinals was maybe the most intense game. It did go to time, because we played 1-1, and then in that last game I knew we were not going to be able to finish, so when K2 died, I picked damage and not discard, and I won because of the damage. Han2 Blue did get a lot of attention, as I said, and Steven, who I played against, is a super nice guy. I'm actually doing an interview with Steven and Jonas this weekend, so that's for the Nordic Takedown channel, so check that out. It will probably be posted Monday. Okay, semifinals. I played Sabine Green. First game was great, as all of my prior Sabine games had been. Second game also was good. I got perfect curve, Wookie into open fire, into like Poe, into everything you could want. But then in the mid game, Wrecker and Poe kept on coming, and I played a questionable Mace Windu when I probably should have played Chewbacca, and it started slipping away. He played a U-Wing, many for causes, and it got to a 1-1. And then the last game I just didn't draw good cards and lost. So that was a little bit heartbreaking, probably because if I was healthy and not feeling shitty with headache and all of that, I maybe would have been able to take that second game, but you never know. No reason to think about that. But I got to play a bronze final against the other top 4 player. That was Mike. He was the 8th seed, playing Bobo Yellow, and also very, very close games. Even though I'm favored in that matchup, the first game I just couldn't draw anything, or could draw something, but I kind of got steamrolled. Toro into the Bounty Hunter Initiate to refresh and into damage was a really good start. Second game he didn't draw anything, and the last game it came down to a super stressful last turn where he dealt 16 damage to me by change of hearting my redemption, attacking twice with a fire spray, but I put down a crate, and at that point it just locked out the game. Hello, Jonah from the future here. There was some issue with the recording, so I will have to take it from here. In the final, there was the Sabine ECL that beat me in the semifinals against Morten, playing the Magic Burn inspired Sabine Tarkentown, and it was 2 very fast games with Sabine ECL having the upper hand in both of them. So he got the Palpatine Showcase and won the tournament. Morten on the left there with the 2nd place, and then that's me on the right with what looks like to be an invisible trophy. And then, if you're curious to hear about the rest of the Topcut results, we can take a look at the bracket here. So we had the Boba ECL Ortos being the only 7-1 player 7-0 from Swiss. He met Akira, managed to beat that 2-1. I would say it's interesting. Maybe would guess Kira is favored there. The other games, I guess, did go as expected. And then in the next round, interestingly, Boba Yellow Mike managed to beat Ortos on his ECL Boba. Sabine winning against Bosk, and then you know my game. And then here we had Adam from Nordic Takedown losing against the Adam Championship winner on a very close game. Sabine Mirror, they are always up to the die roll, very close. And then this was interesting to see. Bobby Yellow losing to Sabine Red. I think probably some bad draws there. I heard Mike being able to put Morten to 29 damage on their base, and I think the game was streamed, so you can check it out if you're interested. And then, as you know, Sabine ECL ending up winning. So this will then be the standings after Topcut was played. That means it's kind of a combination of the Swiss and Topcut results. And that was it. So thanks again for watching, and if you're curious to learn more about the Cad Bane Blue deck, check out the interview I will be making with Steven and Jonas for the Nordic Takedown YouTube channel. And check out the latest podcast episode if you want to hear more about Malmö Game Week. And definitely show up next year. So hopefully I'll see you then. Have a good one, and take care.